Batgirl is filmed and wrapped, and yet Leslie Grace hints at a sequel.
Come on, yo. Come on, yo. Come on, yo. The slant.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
All right, Paulie, let's go.
Paulie here on the Latino Slant. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and consider becoming a member. They do have their perks. Now, what I want to do is I want you all to stick around to the very end of the video. Make sure you watch the whole video because I have some extra DC news just for you. But let's get to this interview with Leslie Grace and Variety. And they just came back, they being the Batgirl production. They're wrapped. They are done filming, and they were filming in Glasgow, Scotland. But Leslie's back. She's teasing Batgirl is insane. She's already talking to filmmakers about a sequel. Leslie Grace is home in the US after spending months overseas shooting Batgirl, the upcoming HBO Max film adaptation of the iconic crime fighter. She takes on the role of Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, in the film, co-directed by Adil El Arib and Bilal Fallah, with the cast that includes J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon and Brandon Fraser as villain Firefly, but also Michael Keaton marks his return as Batman 30 years after his first appearance. So, a couple things. They started filming in November. They just completed it. They were filming in Scotland. My take on that is beautiful. I love when they go on location. I love it when they go on location outside of the States. It allows that creative and production team to really disappear into the movie they're creating. Very little distractions, and the cities that they choose, the settings, they become characters as well. Great examples of that, Lord of the Rings. So, hats off to those two filmmakers. Okay, so let's go to this interview because this is really where we get all the info. And the info for us is when they ask, when we talked in September at the MTV VMAs, you hadn't started shooting, but you told me that Batgirl was going to be badass. Did the badassery live up to what you were expecting? She, Batgirl, definitely exceeds in what I thought. I had summoned up some things in me that I didn't even know were there. It was an incredible learning experience to be on set with also action veterans such as Brandon Fraser and soak it all up. It was so hard because he's our villain and I'm not supposed to like him, but he's such a huge teddy bear. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met. In our fight sequences, the way he would just hit marks, it came from all his experience. You can't improvise that kind of experience. There's some crazy stuff that happens. There's a lot of fire because, as everyone knows, now he plays Firefly. There's crazy fire. There's crazy stunts, crazy drops. She's a biker chick, so you're gonna see her do a bunch of badassery. Okay, love it. What's really cool is the return of Brandon Fraser. Okay, I have to admit, we're all huge fans of Brandon. Also, too, the fact that she's talking about the fight sequences, I'm excited for them. I'm excited for some good action. I'm excited to see what she can bring to the role and to see Brandon again. Were there nights where you got home and you're just sort of in a lot of pain from all the stunt and fight work? Oh my God, there were a lot of night shoots. There were a lot of long days, but it was also worth it. But oh my gosh, never in my life have I been so sore or depleted. There were some days where I would get home and I would think, do I want to eat or do I just want to fall asleep? Yeah, that's. Hey, you know what? That's what you want to hear, man. That's what you want to hear from the lead of an action movie. You don't want to hear, oh, my stunt, I wasn't even there. They did everything already months in advance. I just, you want to hear that she went to the next level with mind, body, and spirit. What was it like seeing Michael Keaton walk on set? It was wild for everyone. Our directors were like two little kids. They're legit Batman nerds openly. He's Batman, man. And I couldn't believe it that I was sharing space with Batman. I wanted to say more, but I can't. It was insane, surreal, incredible. There was the stuff dreams, really. It was stuff of dreams, really. And J.K. Simmons playing my dad, that's my pops. I was so nervous because all I could hear in the back of my head was his voice in Whiplash. Like, what would he do and say if I didn't get something right? Nice, nice. I love J.K. Simmons. I loved him in Being the Ricardos. What are your thoughts so far? Hit me up with a comment in the comment section of this video. What do you think of all these elements? This is gold for me. This is gold. This is a lot of dreams come true for the Latino Slant with a Latina lead, with a caliber actress that she is, and we will temper our excitement, but we want this to be a gigantic hit. Then when we became the best of friends, he just told me all his great stories and started out by being a waiter and working in a pizza shop and trying to be an actor and doing theater. Very cool. Here is an interesting question. Have you reached out to other actors who play superheroes like Gal Gadot or even Alicia Silverstone? I haven't. I probably should have. It's almost like a little overwhelming and hard for your brain to catch up to the magnitude of what you're doing. It almost feels like it's happening in a vacuum. I was just like, oh man, I hope I can do this. Am I in the club? I almost felt like the whole time I was just like I was some imposter syndrome. You want to earn your place. But now that you mention it, I'm going to slip into a few DMs and hey, what was your experience? Okay, before she ends that, I want to say something. I think that's a smart move. She shouldn't have contacted prior people that play Batgirl, Wonder Woman. There's no point. She's got to earn it herself. She's got to be locked in, super focused, and not start. Because once you start doing that, then you're gonna start looking at their performances. You're gonna start looking at their movies. You can't do that. You can't do that. You got to be in that moment. Again, I'm so happy that they escaped, went to Scotland, did this. This is gonna be, if they pull it off, this is gonna be truly unique type of superhero and superheroine. I don't know what the right words are. Okay, let's go on because I do like this next part. I did reach out to Sasha Calle, who is Supergirl in The Flash. I'm hoping we get to meet soon because we're part of the new gen. I did reach out to Sholo Maridueña, our Blue Beetle. He's freaking awesome. I'm so happy for him. Sholo, Sasha, Leslie. This is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Now it's presentation. Now it's execution. Now it's superheroes for the masses. Badass. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. I also heard that Sasha Calle's performance is actually pretty good in that very troublesome production of The Flash. The Flash. Sholo and the Blue Beetle they're either just starting or they haven't started yet. Shooting locations there are going to be in Puerto Rico and Atlanta, Georgia, which I'm not too crazy about, but we will see. Blue Beetle is supposed to be set in El Paso, Texas, which has its own very, very unique geography to the city. And if you've ever been to El Paso, you know what I mean. But this is fantastic. Then they ask, when do you start shooting Batgirl 2? Haha. Man, oh man. Like that question. She laughs. We just got this first one done. But there's definitely some talks about what it could be. I've seen some of what we've shot, obviously in the playback and stuff like that, and it's insane. We've already been talking about what we're doing, what we're we've already been talking about where do we take this from here because there's so much that happens in this film. Playback, for just for you guys know, it's literally you're on the set, you shoot your scene, and if you're the actor, you literally walk behind a video screen, and usually it's called the director's village, and it's just a setup with a little tent to off to the side of flat screens and headsets. That's usually where the director's at, and script supervisor, etc. You get to see the playback. They just play what was shot right back to you. No, no music, no final, renderings, none of that. Just the raw footage of what was shot. Nowadays, it's digital, so that's what playback in this case means. There's a lot of different themes in the plot that we touch on. It's not just the action. There's a love story. Hmm. Batgirl in love? That's new. That is definitely new. Curious about who do you think, guys, in the comments, Batgirl could be in love with or fall in love with? There's a father-son relationship. Love that. Love that. There's looking at the world through a lens that isn't just black and white and seeing the color and the spectrum between things. Okay, that is the news on Batgirl 2. From Leslie Grace's mouth to your eyes and information. What can we take away from this? Like I said, we can take away that there's going to be some kick-ass fighting scenes with Brendan Fraser. There's going to be a love story. There's going to be a solid father and daughter story, which I really all of those elements, I'm really interested. She had laser focus, meaning in probably her preparation for the role and executing the role, she didn't go to outside voices. She didn't go to outside sources. Let me talk to some other actors that did this before. None of that. She wanted to make her own. She wanted to make it original. These two directors are very, very, how do you say it? They have a fresh take on things. That Bad Boys for Life was very well, and we will see how the first Miss Marvel pilot episode does. They were a part of that, and now this is a big one for them. So I think there is a incredible amount of elements for some incredible amount of success. Now, if you stuck around, I really appreciate that. I do not want to disappoint. So we have some more DC news. We have Blue Beetle news. This is kind of a little I don't want to say shocking, but this just in, and when I first read about this, I sent this over to Midnight's Edge as well. They were having a live show. Susan Sarandon is replacing Sharon Stone as DC's new first-rate villain. Sharon Stone was a lock-in about 2 weeks ago, and now she's out. And not only that, Susan Sarandon is quickly in. I have my thoughts on that in a second. But let's read a little bit of this really kind of, again, it's not shocking. It's just wow, kind of news, especially when they're ramping up ramping up to film. Actor Susan Sarandon is signed up to play the villain in the upcoming DCEU Blue Beetle movie, replacing the previous candidate for the role, Sharon Stone. She was reportedly in talks to play named character Victoria Cord, who appears to be original to this film adaptation of the long-running character, but more on that later. However, it's been confirmed Sarandon is set to play the antagonist to Xolo Maridueña's Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle. Interesting. Interesting. Now, this movie, as you know, was first announced to be, showing just exclusively on HBO Max, but now it has gotten its theater release. Okay, let's go real quick to you guys. What do you think of this sudden change? Sharon Stone or Susan Sarandon? Who do y'all like? I really, I for me as an actor, there's just there's no competition. Susan Sarandon is an amazing actress. She's done some amazing work and could be a great villain. Honestly, can be a great villain. We will see. I would like your comments down below, but let's continue reading a little bit, shall we? Yeah, let's do it. Some great new news here. Blue Beetle will be Susan Sarandon's first entry into the ever-growing world of comic book adaptations. Oh, this is interesting. Back in the day, she was a front runner for Selena Kyle Catwoman in '92's Batman Returns, which went to Michelle Pfeiffer. I think that was the right move. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is pretty much up there, and now with Zoe Kravitz, those are two of the best ones. Decades of acting. She's won an Academy Award. She's won all kinds of awards. So yeah, they're just talking about her career there. Now, while the origin of Susan Sarandon's character Victoria Cord is still unknown, there can be a few guesses hazarded. And this is from Giant Freaking Robot. The name of Blue Beetle has primarily been held by 3 different characters in mainstream DC continuity. And we have a video on that with Clobbering Times in our Blue Beetle playlist, and you can check that out. The original version, Golden Age, if you're nasty, was named Dan Garrett, originally created by Fox Comics, which transferred to Charlton, eventually acquired by DC. That Beetle got his powers from a super vitamin, it was the 1940s, or a magical scarab. The Silver Age Blue Beetles, perhaps best known, an inventor named Ted Cord, who was characterized as a protege of Garrett's, who offset his lack of powers with a number of high-tech gadgets themed around beetles. He was a kind of goofier knockoff Batman. In other words, it can be assumed that Victoria Cord will have some connection to the similarly named version of the hero. Now, what I'm hearing is that it is his ex-wife or a wife or a sister. We will see. The version of Blue Beetle that faces off against Susan Sarandon is Jaime Reyes, introduced in 2006. Mexican-American teenager, encounters a scarab amulet, turns out to be extraterrestrial in origin, giving him powered protective armor. So there it is, and the film is set to be released August 18th, 2023. So what are your thoughts? We got a lot of DC action here. We have all the Batgirl Leslie Grace wrap up. Now with this news of Susan Sarandon, we can say that the cast has been set for Blue Beetle, which also includes George Lopez as the uncle, Xolo as Jaime, a great character actor playing also to another villain. I think he's going to be underneath Victoria Cord's character. We have quite a cast. I will say this right now. Batgirl and Blue Beetle, no one's talking about. Very little to compare to Aquaman, compared to Shazam and all the craziness of all these other ones. How to Handle Superman, all the iterations of current Batmans. No one is talking about Batgirl and Blue Beetle, and I think that's a good thing. Low expectations, high dividends. Only one can help. Okay, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for your time. We will be back with more videos. There's a playlist on Batgirl and a playlist, a separate one, on Blue Beetle. Wherever you're at, keep your slant fuerte.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The slant.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.
All right, Paulie, let's go.